He was paralyzed, alone, and waiting for a date that never showed up. Heartbroken and invisible in a crowded cafe, he thought the day was over. But then, a little girl with a magic bunny walked up, and in that moment everything changed. Before we dive in, tell us in the comments where in the world you are watching. Liam Carter sat quietly at the corner table of the sunlit cafe, his fingers nervously tapping the rims of his coffee cup. The afternoon buzz of conversations and clinking cups felt distant, as if the world carried on without noticing him. He adjusted the blanket over his lap, concealing the wheelchair beneath, a constant reminder of the accident that had changed his life just over a year ago. Once an active, confident young man, Liam now navigated the world differently, dependent on wheels and the careful planning of every movement. Today was special, or so he had convinced himself. A date with someone he had met on an app, his first real attempt at dating since the accident. He had spent weeks preparing for this moment, picking the right outfit, practicing conversation in his head, even rehearsing his smile so it appeared natural. His heart raced at the thought of meeting someone who might see him not for his wheelchair, but for who he truly was. The cafe door swung open, and a young man walked in, scanning the tables. Liam's heart leapt. This had to be him. But as the stranger's eyes fell on Liam, his smile faltered. The man's expression shifted subtly, a mixture of hesitation and something close to discomfort. Without a word, he pulled out his phone, typing quickly, and then in a blink, Liam's phone buzzed with a message. "Sorry, something came up. Can't make it. Good luck." Liam's chest tightened. The rejection, silent and abrupt, cut deeper than he expected. He had imagined awkward moments, but never this, a disappearance without explanation, the kind that left invisible scars. He looked around, half hoping for some sign that the world hadn't abandoned him entirely. But life continued. Couples laughed, friends chatted, the barista wiped tables, all moving in a rhythm that seemed to exclude him. A sudden patter of small footsteps broke the hum of the cafe. Liam looked down to see a little girl, no more than 4, approaching him with wide, curious eyes and a stuffed bunny clutched in her hand. Her golden curls bounced with every step, and her tiny shoes tapped against the tiles. "Hi," she said simply, tilting her head. "Why are you sad?" Liam blinked, startled by the directness, and then managed a weak smile. "I'm okay. I'm just waiting for someone." The girl studied him with unwavering attention, then sat herself on the chair across from him without asking. "I'm Emma," she announced. "This is Mr. Fluffy. He makes people happy when they're sad. Do you want to hold him?" Liam felt an unexpected warmth as he accepted the small, worn plush toy. "Thank you, Emma. That's very kind of you." From across the cafe, a woman hurried over, her gaze quickly moving between Emma and Liam. She was dressed elegantly, yet her posture carried the ease of someone accustomed to control, someone confident yet gentle. "Emma, what are you doing?" she called softly. "You can't just... Oh." Her eyes fell on Liam, taking in his tear-streaked cheeks, the abandoned chair beside him. The softness in her gaze deepened. "I'm Sophia," she introduced herself, kneeling slightly to be at Liam's eye level. "Emma, say hello properly." Emma didn't hesitate. He said, "I'm helping." Sophia's lips curved into a smile, one that radiated kindness and understanding. "Well, thank you for helping. You have good instincts, Emma, and it seems he could use a friend today." Liam felt his heart loosen, the tension in his shoulders easing slightly. The small, fearless girl and her mother had unknowingly opened a door that had been closed for far too long. Sophia sat down across from him, careful not to crowd, yet close enough to make him feel acknowledged. "You don't even know me," Liam said, his voice small. "No," Sophia replied gently, "but I can see how you treat my daughter, and that tells me everything I need to know." The conversation that followed was light yet profound. Liam found himself sharing stories he hadn't voiced to anyone about his accident, the challenges of daily life, and the sting of rejection. Sophia listened not with pity, but with empathy, her presence a safe space he hadn't realized he craved. Emma chimed in occasionally with innocent observations. making Liam laugh despite himself. By the time they finished their coffees and juice, Liam's loneliness had transformed into something else. Hope, fragile but real. Sophia smiled warmly. "I'm glad Emma ran over. Sometimes the smallest moments change everything." Liam nodded, gripping Mr. Fluffy a little tighter. He realized that what he had thought was a ruined afternoon had become the beginning of something unexpected, a connection that didn't see his wheelchair as a limitation, but simply saw him. For the first time in a long while, he felt noticed, valued, and quietly, irresistibly alive. The next few days seemed to stretch like a delicate thread of anticipation in Liam's chest. He found himself thinking about Sophia and little Emma more than he expected. The memory of Emma's fearless gaze, the way she had handed him Mr. Fluffy, and Sophia's warm, understanding eyes lingered in his mind, giving him a sense of possibility he hadn't felt since before the accident. A week later, Liam agreed to meet Sophia and Emma again, this time at a quiet little park near the city's botanical gardens. The air was crisp with early spring, carrying the scent of fresh blossoms, and sunlight dappled through the budding trees. Liam rolled into the park, his wheelchair wheels crunching gently over the gravel path, and immediately spotted Sophia guiding Emma by the hand. The little girl's golden curls bounced as she ran ahead, stopping suddenly to wave with enthusiasm. "Liam!" Emma called out, her voice bright and unrestrained. She let go of Sophia's hand and toddled toward him, her stuffed bunny clutched tightly. "I brought Mr. Fluffy. He likes you." Liam laughed, a genuine sound that felt foreign but wonderful in his own ears. "Thank you, Emma. He's been lonely without me." Sophia approached with a careful smile, her posture relaxed but commanding in a way that made Liam feel instantly at ease. "I hope you don't mind," she said, her voice gentle, but Emma insisted on bringing her magic bunny. "She said it wasn't optional." "I don't mind at all," Liam replied. "He's welcome company." They found a bench under a sprawling oak tree, where Emma immediately perched herself between them, swinging her legs. Sophia had a coffee in hand, and Liam had brought his sketchbook as he often did. He had always found solace in drawing, even more so after the accident. It gave him a sense of control, a way to express what words sometimes couldn't. As Emma busied herself with coloring, Sophia leaned in slightly. "You handled yourself really well the other day, Liam. I was watching, and you treated her with such patience and kindness. Most adults would have been flustered or worse, dismissive. You didn't even realize how impressive that was." Liam felt heat rise to his cheeks. Compliments had always been rare for him, and since the accident, they had been even rarer. I guess I just tried to treat people like I'd want to be treated," he said softly. Sophia's smile deepened. "And that's exactly why I think you're extraordinary. Not because you're paralyzed, not because you survived a tragedy, but because you choose empathy when it would be easier to retreat. That says more about you than anything else ever could." Liam stared down at his sketchbook, tracing a pencil across the page without actually drawing. He felt exposed in a way that was both terrifying and liberating. Most people saw him first as a wheelchair user, a person defined by limitation. Sophia saw him as a person, a soul with depth, humor, and heart. Emma's voice cut through his thoughts. "Do you like to draw, Mr. Liam?" she asked, her blue eyes wide with genuine curiosity. "I do," he admitted. "Would you like to see?" Emma nodded eagerly, and Liam opened the sketchbook to show a few pages of landscapes, cityscapes, and portraits. The little girl's laughter rang out as she pointed to a drawing of a playful dog. "He looks happy. I want him to be real." Sophia's gaze softened as she watched Liam interact with her daughter. There was a calm sincerity about him, a way of listening and responding that felt rare. "Emma has a way of seeing people as they are," she said quietly. "And it seems she can tell when someone's heart is good. She picked you for a reason." The afternoon unfolded with simple joys, Liam sketching quietly, Emma narrating imaginary adventures for Mr. Fluffy, and Sophia sharing stories about her childhood, her challenges as a single mother, and the moments that had shaped her life. With every laugh, every shared glance, Liam felt a warmth growing inside him, a sense of connection, belonging, and possibility. By the time the sun began to dip toward the horizon, painting the sky with hues of gold and rose, Sophia spoke softly. "I hope this isn't too forward, Liam, but would you like to meet again? Maybe a picnic next week?" Emma insists it has to involve Mr. Fluffy. Liam's heart lifted. "I'd like that," he said, a genuine smile spreading across his face. "I'd really like that." As they parted that evening, Liam felt a sense of hope he hadn't experienced in months. The accident had taken much from him, mobility, independence, the effortless confidence of youth, but it had not taken the chance for meaningful connection. And now, with Sophia and Emma, he glimpsed a future that was possible, not despite his challenges, but alongside them. That night, as Liam placed Mr. Fluffy beside his pillow, he realized something profound. Rejection had hurt, yes, but it had also cleared space for something real, something deep, and something extraordinary. And sometimes the universe works in mysterious ways. Leaving you alone at a café might just be the prelude to finding a connection that changes everything. Weeks turned into months, and Liam found himself slipping naturally into a rhythm with Sophia and Emma. Their casual park meetings had evolved into cozy afternoons at Sophia's apartment, weekend strolls through the city, and quiet coffee dates where conversation flowed effortlessly. With each encounter, the bond between them deepened, not through grand gestures or dramatic declarations, but through laughter, shared stories, and the kind of gentle understanding that only develops when people allow themselves to be truly seen. One Saturday morning, Sophia invited Liam to help Emma set up a small art project on the balcony. The sun was bright, but the warmth was tempered by a soft breeze that carried the scent of nearby flowers. Emma perched at a small table, crayons scattered around her, while Liam carefully maneuvered his wheelchair closer, sketchbook at hand. Sophia poured coffee into mugs and settled nearby, her eyes frequently glancing toward Liam with a look of quiet admiration. Emma spoke earnestly, her small hands busy coloring shapes and animals. "Mr. Liam, do you think Mr. Fluffy could go on an adventure today?" she asked, her wide blue eyes sparkling with anticipation. "I think he's ready for anything," Liam said, lifting the bunny and pretending to march it across the table. Emma squealed in delight, watching the tiny plush hero explore the vast expanse of the balcony. Sophia smiled, leaning back to watch them, her posture relaxed yet protective, as if she was silently giving Liam her quiet approval. Over the course of the morning, Liam found himself opening up more than he ever had before. He spoke about the accident, not in the tragic way that usually accompanied such stories, but in a reflective, honest tone. "There are days I still feel frustrated," he admitted. "Not because of what happened physically, but because of how people look at you afterward, as if you're defined by what you can't do. But moments like this, they remind me that there's more to life than limitations. There's kindness, there's laughter, there's connection." Sophia reached over, placing her hand gently on his arm. "And that's exactly why I enjoy being with you, Liam. Not despite your accident or your wheelchair, but because you've retained that spirit, humble, thoughtful, compassionate. It's rare to find someone so genuine." Liam's gaze softened, taking in the warmth in her eyes. He realized that over time, he had come to trust her judgment implicitly. She didn't see him as fragile. She saw him as human, as someone capable of love, humor, and depth. That recognition was more powerful than he could have anticipated. Emma, oblivious to the subtle undercurrents of adult emotion, jumped into the middle of their conversation. "Do you like being a superhero, Mr. Liam?" she asked, pointing at his wheelchair. "Because superheroes sit in special chairs too, right? Daddy says it helps you save the day." Liam laughed, a rich sound he hadn't heard from himself in months. "I suppose that makes sense. Maybe this chair is my superhero vehicle." Emma clapped enthusiastically, her small face glowing with pride. Sophia watched, her smile softening, touched by the simple magic of the moment. As the day progressed, they talked more about life, dreams, and fears. Liam shared his passion for sketching, describing how art allowed him to capture moments he couldn't experience physically. Sophia spoke candidly about the challenges of running a successful company while raising Emma alone, the exhaustion, the joy, and the constant balancing act. Through these exchanges, trust blossomed between them. They weren't just spending time together. They were building an understanding rooted in respect and authenticity. By late afternoon, the city skyline shimmered in golden light. Sophia leaned back in her chair, her gaze fixed on Liam. "I'm glad Emma ran over to you that day," she said softly. "It might sound strange, but your response to her curiosity told me everything I needed to know about you. You didn't flinch, you didn't get defensive, you listened, you explained, and you made her feel included. That's the kind of character that makes people gravitate toward you." Liam felt a warmth spreading in his chest, a mix of relief and hope. "I never thought a small moment like that could mean so much," he admitted. "I used to think I'd never find someone who'd see me beyond in this." He gestured to his wheelchair. "But you and Emma make me feel like there's still a place for me in the world." Sophia reached across the table, her hand brushing against his in a gesture that was both comforting and deliberate. "There's always a place for people who are genuine, Liam. You belong here, with us, with Emma, with life. And I hope you realize that you're capable of being part of a family, not just someone on the sidelines." The words struck Liam in a way he hadn't anticipated. He had spent months rebuilding himself emotionally, convincing himself that he could adapt to life's limitations. But he had never allowed himself to hope for this, a connection that wasn't pity, a relationship built on mutual respect and genuine affection. Emma, sensing the seriousness of the moment, leaned closer to Liam. "I like you. Mr. Liam, you make me laugh and you're nice to Daddy too. Can you be our friend forever?" Her innocent declaration carried a weight far greater than her age suggested. Liam smiled through the lump in his throat. "I'd like that very much, Emma. I'd like that a lot." As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the balcony, Liam felt a quiet certainty settle over him. The loneliness, the rejection, the fear of being invisible, all of it seemed to fade, replaced by a fragile but real hope. He realized that true connection didn't come from perfection or pretense. It came from moments of authenticity, small acts of kindness, and the courage to be vulnerable in front of people who truly saw you. That evening, as they packed up the art supplies and prepared to leave, Liam understood something profound. The journey ahead wouldn't be without challenges, but for the first time, he felt ready to face them, not alone, but with Sophia and Emma by his side. And in that realization, he discovered a truth far more powerful than any setback. Love, trust, and family could emerge from the most unexpected encounters, often when you least expected it. As the seasons changed, so did the bond between Liam, Sophia, and Emma. What had begun as a chance encounter in a café had grown into a quiet, unspoken rhythm of shared moments, trust, and affection. Weekends were filled with art projects, park picnics, and laughter echoing through Sophia's apartment. Liam had become an integral part of their lives, not as an outsider looking in, but as someone who belonged. And yet, despite the growing closeness, there lingered a quiet uncertainty, a question of how far this connection could go, and whether life could truly grant him the happiness he had begun to imagine. One crisp autumn afternoon, Sophia invited Liam and Emma to her company's rooftop garden for a small charity event. The sun bathed the space in golden warmth, the city skyline stretching endlessly beyond them. Emma ran ahead, her little boots tapping across the wooden planks, while Liam maneuvered his wheelchair along the accessible path, sketchbook tucked under his arm. Sophia followed, radiant yet composed, greeting guests with the effortless grace of someone accustomed to leadership. After mingling and brief introductions, they found a quiet corner overlooking the city. Emma perched on a bench between them, twirling a small ribbon she had found, while Liam and Sophia sipped their drinks, the weight of the moment settling around them. "You've become a part of our lives." "Liam," Sophia began, her voice gentle but steady, And I want you to know that I don't see you as someone who's limited or fragile. I see you as someone capable of great kindness, strength, and love. Emma sees it too. She chose you without hesitation. Liam felt a lump in his throat. He had spent years grappling with self-doubt, wondering if anyone could truly accept him as he was. And here was Sophia saying exactly that. I don't know what to say, he whispered, his voice thick. You don't have to say anything, she replied. Actions speak louder than words. You've already shown what kind of person you are, not just to me but to Emma. You've shown patience, humor and warmth, even on days when life hasn't been kind, Emma chimed in, her small voice firm and decisive. Mr. Liam, you're my favorite friend. Don't ever leave us. Liam smiled, feeling an unfamiliar but profound peace. I promise I won't, he said, glancing at Sophia, who nodded with a soft, knowing smile over the next few months. The connection that had begun with a chance encounter blossomed into love, steady and sincere. Coffee dates turned into quiet dinners. Casual outings became weekend adventures, and their lives intertwined seamlessly. Liam never felt the need to hide his wheelchair, and Sophia never treated it as a limitation. Instead, they navigated life together, adjusting, laughing and celebrating the small victories that came with everyday living. One evening, as the golden light of sunset spilled through the apartment windows, Emma climbed into Liam's lap, her tiny arms wrapped around his neck. Will you stay with us forever, Mr. Liam? She asked, her eyes earnest and unflinching. I will, he promised, holding her gently. Forever and always, Sophia watched, her heart swelling with emotion. You've changed our lives, Liam, she said softly. And I think it's time we take the next step. Not just as friends, but as a family. The proposal was simple, intimate, and perfectly reflective of their journey. No grand gestures, no public spectacle, just a quiet evening, a circle of trust, and hearts that had found each other in the midst of life's chaos. Liam, feeling the weight of the moment and the love surrounding him, accepted without hesitation. Emma squealed in delight, hugging both of them simultaneously, declaring that Mr. Liam and Sophia were officially the best family ever. Their wedding was a small, heartfelt celebration, held in a garden blooming with autumn colors. Emma served as the flower girl, proudly scattering petals with Mr. Fluffy riding alongside in a tiny carriage. Friends and family laughed and cried together, moved by the authenticity and warmth radiating from the couple. During their vows, Sophia spoke first. A foolish man once judged you for circumstances beyond your control, Liam. He didn't see your heart, your kindness, your strength. But I did. Emma did. And together, we found someone extraordinary, not in spite of your challenges, but because of the person you are, wholly and unapologetically. Liam's vows were simple, yet profound. I was left alone that day, feeling invisible and rejected. But a little girl with magic in her heart, and her mother with wisdom in hers, showed me that I am worthy of love, exactly as I am. You both gave me back hope, belonging, and the joy of family. I promise to cherish you, protect you, and love you every single day. As they sealed their vows with a tender kiss, Liam realized something extraordinary. Life had a way of creating beauty from heartbreak, connection from solitude, and love from the most unexpected moments. Daniel, the man who had walked away that fateful afternoon, was gone from his story, irrelevant in comparison to the family he had gained. Years later, Liam, Sophia, and Emma would look back on that cafe encounter as the turning point that defined their lives. A moment of rejection had opened the door to something far greater than either could have imagined. A family bound not by perfection, but by kindness, resilience, and the courage to see the person, not the circumstance. In the end, Liam understood the most important lesson of all. True love and real connection are not about avoiding pain or overcoming limitations. They are about showing up, choosing kindness and embracing life exactly as it is. And sometimes, just sometimes, the smallest acts, a little girl's courage, a mother's insight, a stranger's patience, can change everything.